Welcome to the Pew!
Pew! The LES space.
Yes, we are.
Sunny.
We absolutely are the LES space.
No doubt about it.
So, now that we're here,
let's subvert the mainstream.
well, you can't. And that's what the conversation was just before the camera went on. That whether or not you
Can
can.
you or can't you?
And apparently you cannot. I understand it now. It's hard. I don't know if I can put it into words. I have a difficult time doing that because I have a weird kind of dyslexia with the words co-opt and assimilate.
Well, both are similar in meaning.
Yes. They're absolutely similar to me.
Assimilate means that you're taking something into your own culture
I know
and
what they
making
mean.
it yours.
I know what they mean. The problem I have is if I assimilate with the mainstream, does that mean I'm turning into the mainstream or the mainstream is turning into me, or does it matter, or is it both?
In general, that means that you are turning into the mainstream.
Yes, but because I'm becoming more like them, or because they're becoming more like me? Or does it matter?
You're becoming more like the mainstream than the mainstream is becoming like you, although the mainstream is becoming slightly more like you, because the mainstream, you have to remember, is this really big mass, whereas whatever fringe element it's taking in is a very small mass. So that's why the mainstream will move less than the fringe. The fringe will become more mainstream.
And is that thing? Okay, we are, ladies and gentlemen, we are being distracted here by
Michael's being distracted by
the
rowdy audiences,
the rowdy audience members, and the construction workers with sledgehammers. So
clamoring to get
in and fix the potholes.
We're not going to let him in.
No, you're not going to. You can't come in. Okay, so we got all that. I'll get it all straightened out.
So here's an example. No, here's an example. Like Michael's heroin addiction, which to me is like the most cliched, mainstream way of ending a club kid career.
Because it's the celebrity.
Because it's like the celebrity cliche of rise and fall,
which is actually
tragedy.
What was meant to satirize. It was meant to satirize.
So you started out satirizing it, and then you ended up becoming a sad parody of it.
Which at this point has become a satirization in itself. A little bit too many doors within doors. But yes, because the idea originally was to satirize celebrity. And then when we got done satirizing celebrity, where could you go with that? Well, then now you're satirizing drug-addicted celebrities, the Liza Minnellis and Courtney Loves and people like that. Because it was sort of really what can be more fabulous than a celebrity than Courtney Love driving around, being driven around in a limousine, doing cocaine and you're falling out of her Versace dress.
Fabulous.
That's pretty fabulous. It seemed fabulous at the time.
So you went from satire to satire.
Satire.
We're taking a break. Back.
Satire to sad and tired.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Bow down to the party monster. Bow down to the party monster.
Welcome back to the Pew.
Welcome back to the View.
Welcome to the View. We're back for more.
And you can only straddle that fence on the edge of. It's called edginess for a reason, because you're on the edge of fringe and mainstream, right?
Right, you're right at that line, and it's a highly coveted position to be right on that line because it's the most profitable line.
Some stars will pay top dollar to be there.
And companies, because it's the most profitable
You often
place
can't
to be.
pay to be there. You can't buy it.
You can, but it might be obvious that you bought it. But to be right in that spot, and that's that spot where you're just edgy enough to be recognized as the one who is out there the farthest, but not so far that you have crossed the line and now scare people away.
So we will use our go-to example.
Madonna! But there are more examples. There's Deee-Lite Ernie and I will argue. Ernie says that Deee-Lite's awfully tired and they never were there and they weren't cool or anything ever.
That's not what I'm
saying.
I absolutely love Deee-Lite.
I say that they were there for
you have to acknowledge that they were slightly flash in the panty.
Yes, they were flash. Yeah.
Whereas
But the other one,
Madonna
there are
is
other
not a
examples.
flash in the pan.
Grace Jones and Debbie Harry and other people
Also
like that.
flashes in the
And
pan.
they were on that spot.
I mean, I wish Deee-Lite were still around producing.
Oh
great
yes, I
music.
do too.
And so I'm sure they wish they were around.
I'm sure they do.
For what?
So that they can entertain us some more with
Well,
their
I always-
beautiful music full of the positivity and optimism.
I love their music.
Groove is in the heart.
Well, hey, I have many memories of you and I dancing to their music
Yes,
on the dance
I
floor
do.
of Lee
Yes.
Chappell's Locomotion.
Yes, we
at
did.
the Roxy.
Yes, we did have to dance to the music. I remember.
That I remember.
All right, absolutely.
Was it so high that I don't remember that?
But yeah, so they did straddle. Keir straddled that fence.
So Madonna straddles it, and Michael says that she pushes the envelope just enough, but not too far. So one example you were giving was her sex book,
Right.
which, I mean, you could argue that. I mean, people thought it was pretty shocking.
I'll tell you, you can certainly argue because we did the sex book about 3 months before she did. Remember the strip book with
Yeah.
everybody naked in it?
Ours only sold 2 copies when.
Well, ours
hers sold millions.
Ours was free. We still give away 2 copies. No, ours was free.
And still, we could only give away 2 copies.
No, we gave her 10,000.
Okay.
So she did. What was another example? The sex
And that book was expensive at the time it came out. I think it was like $50 or $60, wasn't it?
at least.
And that was in the.
And it was
early
like
90s.
shrink wrapped and like all the kinds of
So
like.
$50 back then was way more expensive than $50 today.
Yes. But what are other examples?
That would be like $150 in today's dollars.
What are the other examples? We had a whole bunch of them.
Kissing Britney Spears.
Oh yeah, the lesbian thing. Again, we're gonna think those things are kind of played out,
Right.
Because to us they are, and to anybody really in the scene. And even in the beginning,
Or the Truth or Dare movie.
Yes,
another
a lot of people think that in the beginning, a lot of people thought that she spearheaded that trend with the Catholic, the rosary beads and that the Catholic.
Not true.
It's not true. People would call people at Fordham and Carmody, my friend Annie, she dressed that way, and people called her a Madonna bee, when actually Madonna was dressing more like her because Annie was doing it before Madonna was. So a lot of people were doing it.
A lot of people were doing it.
Right.
She's just the one that became famous
Exactly.
for doing it.
Yeah. And then she made a career out of that, which was kind of what we were doing. She would find an idea at Clubland, and then she would massify it. And that's what we did with acid house, and it's what we do with ecstasy, and it's what we did kind of with club culture in general. Me anyway, I would find an idea, and I would want to tell people about it, which makes some people
Ruin it, and then.
Well, some people say it ruins the idea, and if by ruining it you mean everybody else letting everybody in on it, then I guess you could say yes, it's ruined. But my response is that there are a million ideas that will come after that,
Yeah,
and so
let's ruin some more.
Well, I don't see it as ruining. I see it as
I don't either.
bringing it to other people and letting them.
I
enjoy
always
it.
hated that mentality that you're ruining something because it's like, so what? Just like move on to the next.
It's the worst kind of elitism. I love elitism, you know that. But this is the worst kind because it's not allowing ideas.
I only like elitism when we can smash it to bits.
Yes, and that's what this is because we're taking that idea that people want to
Because it's precious.
remain precious, and we are giving it away to everybody, and which makes a lot of people angry.
Although we must caution that nobody is harmed in our smashing.
No
of
ideas are
elites.
harmed in our smashing of ideas.
But just want to know.
All right.
Wait a damn minute. Wants to know how your parole's going.
Oh, just great. How's yours? No.
See you next time.
Well, wait a minute. Don't you want me? Okay, that's it. Bye.